Good morning, students. Assalamu alaikum. I hope you're well. The topic today of our online lecture is Pioneers of Computers. Today we're going to learn about different pioneers and what did they create and when did they create their machines, what advancements were made, and we're going to learn all about it. Our first calculator was Pascaline. Now, who invented this Pascaline? Blaise Pascal invented Pascaline. He was a French mathematician, physicist, inventor, philosopher, and Catholic writer. He used to write in Catholic writings. Catholic is a caste in Christians, and he was a philosopher. He had his PhD degree in mathematics, and he was French. He invented the Pascaline in 1642 and 1644. It could only do subtraction and addition. It has 8 movable dials, and they're used to add and subtract. Now, Blaise Pascal, he did invent it in 1642, but he invented this to help his father in tax collecting, because his father used to collect tax, and he used to calculate them, and it used to be hard for him to do all of this, right? So his son, which was Blaise Pascal, he invented the Pascaline, so it's easier for his father to calculate and subtract. Pascaline was one of the first inventors of anything that related to a computer or a calculator, and it was advanced for its time, and really soon it gained popularity all over the country, which was France. Now we're going to study about the Gottfried Leibniz. Who was this? Wilhelm Leibniz, or Leibniz, was a German active as a mathematician, philosopher, scientist, and diplomat. He worked on Pascal's idea and invented a machine called Stabrechner. Now, this machine, it could multiply, it could divide, it could add, and it could subtract. The binary number, the system that he created, is used in all the digital computers in today's world. Now, the step reckoner is obviously a calculating device which was built in 1673. The Pascaline, it was invented in 1642, and mere of 20 to 30 years later, another calculating device was invented by no other than Leibniz himself. And what was he? He wasn't French. He was a German philosopher, mathematician. The step reckoner expanded on the French mathematician philosopher Blaise Pascal's ideas. I have said this before, and I'm repeating this for you, that he worked on the ideas of the French mathematician Blaise Pascal, and he worked on them, and now he created this device which was later on used for multiplication, division, and addition and subtraction. He did multiplication by repeated addition and shifting. Gottfried Leibniz invented the first ever mechanical calculator. Pascaline wasn't a mechanical calculator. Meanwhile, on the other hand, a step reckoner, it was an mechanical calculator. Charles Babbage was an English inventor who lived in the early 1800s. He is known as the father of computer. Why is he called the father of computer? Because of his ideas about how machines could process information. He also worked on improving calculations and made contributions to math. Now, Charles Babbage, he invented the difference engine. It was a calculator and it could compute mechanically. You could call it the second mechanical computer that was invented. Now, you're right. It calculates without making any mistakes because it's a mechanical calculator. Mechanical calculators don't make mistakes. Charles Babbage, I told you about him. He was an English mathematician. He designed the difference engine. When did he design it? He designed it in 1823, followed by the analytical engine in 1834. He upgraded it into an analytical engine when made of 10 years later, which he tried to program to do any kind of calculation. He is known as the father of modern computer because all the computers today are based on his plans and ideas. Now, it's pretty obvious why we call him the father of computer, because all the computers today are based on whose idea? They're based on Charles Babbage ideas. Class, now we're going to talk about Hermann Hollerith. Now, an inventor known for creating a mechanical tabulator for the 1890 US Census. He used punch cards to process data quickly, which helped data analysis and led to the founding of IBM. Now, Hermann Hollerith invented the tabulating machine using punched card, and he obviously used the punch cards to store data and process data. I've said this before and I'm repeating my words. It is used to build. He built the first punch card tabulating machine. Now, Hermann Hollerith, he invented the tabulating machine when he invented this in 1819, and he started a computing tabulating recording company, which later became what? Which later became IBM, like I mentioned earlier. A tabulating machine, it's a device used to organize and process data, often using punch cards, invented by Hermann Hollerith. It allowed for faster counting and analysis of information, particularly during the 1890 US Census. This innovation greatly improved data handling and laid the groundwork for modern computing. Now, class, this was it for this chapter. What did we learn today? We learned about the four pioneers of computers. Pioneer number one, which was who? It was Blaise Pascal. Let's give a quick review on what these pioneers did. Blaise Pascal, he invented the Pascaline. It had movable dials, and what was it used for? It was used for addition and subtraction. And when did he invent this? He invented this in 1642. The second pioneer we are going to discuss about him was Gottfried Leibniz. He worked on Pascal's idea and invented a machine called Stabreckoner. What does Stabreckoner do? It multiplies and divides. Now, when was this calculator invented? It was invented in 1673, and it's also known as the first mechanical calculator. Our third pioneer is Charles Babbage, who invented the difference engine. It's a calculator and it computes mechanically. I told you all of this earlier. I'm giving you a quick review about all of it. Anyways, he invented the difference engine, which later became analytical. Difference was invented in 1823 and the analytical was invented in 1834. His machine made no errors, no mistakes, and all of the computers today in the modern world are created and based on his plans and ideas. This is why he is known as the father of computer. Last but not least, Hermann Hollerith. He invented the first ever punched card tabulating machine. And why did he build it? He built it to store and process data. He used punch cards to store and process data. and he also started the computing tabulating recording company, which was later transitioned into IBM. Thank you, class. I hope you learned something today. This was your complete chapter number 2 explanation, detailed explanation, and I hope you learned something from it. Thank you so much for listening to this lecture. I hope you learned something from it. I'm gonna see you in your next lecture, inshallah. Thank you, Jazakallah. Allah Hafiz.